Okay folks, welcome back. Friday afternoon-ish update. Update on the update from last Friday. First off, video editing, etc. Nothing done because I've been working on cars all week. So I might as well go through the cars and progress on each. Start off with the one behind the camera, which is Chris's Clubby Estate. Battery charged. That's it. It's going to be ready for Sunday. Now the one under the camera, which you can't see from here, is the Austin, the 5-speed 8-port 1380. If you remember, I don't know if I mentioned it in the last one or not. I probably did, but I was trying to fix the oil leak caused by a half-moon seal. Apparently it should be changeable in situ. However, I managed to get the old one out, but I cannot get the new one in at all. I'll insert a little bit of picture here, and hopefully if I've been able to add some arrows onto it, you'll be able to see the gap and the size of the seal that I'm trying to put in it. It just will not compress enough. I don't know if the gap on the end of the engine is different between an S motor and like a A+1, where it should be feasible to get this seal in, but that seal is not going to go in that gap. It is physically impossible to get it in. I could probably hammer it in, but it would end up destroying it, and then even then I can't really get the access to hammer it in. So engine's going to come out, gaskets are added to my next mini spare shopping list, and that'll be, well, as soon as possible really. The only problem is I've dismantled half the engine, haven't I now? I can't run it because it's going to absolute squirt oil out everywhere, so I can't drive it home. So I'm not exactly sure what the plan is, whether I end up finding room up here, which is very tight because I've got 3 cars in a small storage space, and then bring the hoist up here in the van, and I don't know. It's a pisser because everything's absolutely mint. The rest of the engine bay is sound. There's no water leaks, no other oil leaks. The exhaust wasn't blowing. It's all nicely sealed, and everything's got to come apart. So that's a pain in the backside. Moving on, better news. Bumblebee, as I said, fine. Just needs a bit more cleaning. Sheldon, I'll walk you through that bit. I'll have to go home to film that, so I'll add that in a second. And on to Sheldon. So what have we done on Sheldon? Probably a shorter list of what we haven't done. So I had a new radiator, a new head gasket. The head's been skimmed. New gaskets throughout the top end of the engine, obviously exhaust manifold gasket, water heater takeoff, all the thermostatic gaskets were replaced, everything was cleaned. The exhaust manifold was resealed where it goes into the Y piece because it got disturbed. Other stuff on Sheldon, the interior light switches were fitted, the rear brakes were nipped up, the fog lamp was totally replaced because if you can see that, that's the state of the old one. It absolutely fell apart, it was rusted as hell. Bulb still worked, which was amazing. What else have we done? Replaced the rubbers on the pedals, tightened up the loose seat mounting bolts, fitted the missing seat mounted bolts, removed the seat extender bracket that hadn't been refitted correctly, and it stripped the riv nuts and put a standard one in. Shortened the bonnet prop so it fits in a little cutout on the inner wing so it doesn't drop on your head all the time. Fixed the number plate that was loose, took the grill off, stripped off all the loose paint, repainted it and cleaned it. Removed front and rear bumpers, waxed all them on the inside where they were starting to go rusty. refitted them obviously, wax oiled the seams before we fitted them. I think that's about it. There's bound to be stuff I missed off that list, but basically it's had a bit of a going over, so it's looking a lot more healthy now than it was when it arrived. Here's that list of Sheldons. It went on to page 2 actually. Obviously the things left are the door lock needs changing on the near side. Might do that on Saturday. The driver's side window winder channel is all corroded. We've got to stand still one of those to fit. There's still a mystery wire under the wing that we don't know what it's for. We think it should have a fan, or it's had a fan. Coil is to paint. The roof trim has no holes in it, so the water's not getting out of the gutter properly. All the interior sound deadening is missing, and the steering cowl, the lower screw's missing. But as you can see, we've had a fair old list to work through and got it done. So Karen's coming to pick it up tomorrow, Saturday, and take it back to West Cumbria. Hopefully all should be alright. I'll need another oil change because all the oil is like mayonnaise with all the water that got into it. Inside the engine it's obviously still a mix of water and oil, even though we put fresh in. But yeah, it idles alright, fires up, idles. I turned up the idle a little bit last night to just, it was a bit low in my view. But yeah, it's ready to go back to West Cumbria. As you can see, there's been a lot of work happened on Sheldon over the past week to get it up to a, how can I put it, a more roadworthy condition. Basically, it's going to be, let's put it this way, it's a safer car leaving our house than it was when it arrived, but we'll not say too much on that. Red hot behind me. I'll start off with the bit that isn't here, I can't show you, is the wheel arch, which is at home, and I've started repairing that with some fiberglass matting and stuff, and it's only had one layer on last night, and it's basically, that's fixed it. Obviously the surface where the fiberglass got ripped is going to need some filler and primer and stuff, but I've added another layer of fiberglass resin and matting on to the underside this morning, and that'll be drying off now, and it's going to be pretty much sorted, just for the top surface to get sorted, you know, the rubbing down and fillering and all that sort of primering, and finally get some paint on it at some point, but I'm not too fussed about that at the moment. I just want to get it solid, put back on the car. The other jobs I've done on this is, while I was underneath sorting the exhaust, I'll insert a picture of what that was like. You can see it didn't seal very well because, we'll just leave it at that. It's all back together now and sealed with proper sealant, so that should be good to go. And while it was jacked up, I noticed that all the paint on the floor was flaking like it is inside the wheel arches. So what I've done is I've scraped it off, rubbed it all down, and I'm just whacking some hammerite on it. I'll probably get 2 layers of hammerite on it, just black, and then we're going to slaver the underside of the car with black wax oil, just, well, because race car, and it hasn't suffered from corrosion yet, with water getting in behind the cracks in the paint, so I might as well do something now to stop it from getting any worse while I've got time.